Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dwayne. I got a video for that Kimball, United States Army veteran and retired VA rating specialist. Today's video, I'm going to be explaining how did I see as a former VA rater, VSOs, claims agents, and attorneys screw up veterans' claims. In today's video, I'm going to break it down for you. So, as a former VA rater, how did I see VSOs, claims agents, and attorneys screw up veterans' claims? Now, two things. I'm not saying all VSOs, all claims agents, or all attorneys screwed up veterans' claims. I am not saying that. But I've seen in many cases where some, not all, some actually did. Okay? Now, secondly, it is up to you. If you want to use a consulting company, use one. If you want to use a VSO, use one. If you want to use a claims agent or attorney, use one. The choice is yours, okay? I don't say go with somebody who's just accredited. I don't say just go with somebody that's a consulting company. But whatever you do, make sure you ask questions. And I had a previous video where I explained some questions that you could be asking these individuals, okay? Which I definitely think is important. Also, once I go through some of these ways I saw individuals screw up others' claims, I'm going to give you some things that you can do about it, okay? So, number one, submit the incorrect claim form. I've seen this. They'll submit a VA form 21-526EZ and the veteran was previously denied. And when you are previously denied, it cannot go on a VA form 21-526EZ. It has to be on a VA form 20-0995. Okay? So, and also under that, a lot of times they will submit in 0995 a reopen, right? And no new and relevant evidence. Now, when I was rating, they didn't have the 0995s. Those didn't come out to, I think, February 2019. But they had something called not new and relevant evidence, but new and material. So they could put on a VA form 21-4138 and say, hey, the veteran would like to reopen this claim. They can also put it on 526EZ. Because back then, before February 2019, there was no prescribed claim forms. There were, but they weren't titled prescribed claim forms, okay? So they would not submit new and material. Back then, again, it's new and relevant now, but back then it was new and material. They would not submit new and material evidence with it, or they would submit new evidence, but not material, or material, but not new. Simple things like that. And guess what happens? It gets kicked back, okay? Number two, submit the wrong conditions. Veterans, you have to take the bull by the horns. Make sure you have the conversation with this VSO lawyer. Look, I don't want to claim this. I want to claim that. Once you submit that paperwork, give me a copy because I want it for my records. And when you see it, make sure it's the right information. Now, if it's not, you can do an addendum, or your representative should do the addendum, okay? Because you gave them authority to represent you, all right? So if it's something that you didn't want to claim, tell them, hey, you need to contact the VA, submit another form, and tell them, hey, this is the addendum to correct the mistake, okay? All right, so let's keep going. Number three, submit a claim without you knowing it. And then you get a request for a C&P exam, and you're like, well, what's going on? And you just go to it. You just go to it not knowing, wait a minute. And they could have submitted it for the incorrect veteran. Okay? It happens. Okay? So again, you want to take the bull by the horns, and you need to know exactly what that representative is doing and not doing. Okay? You still have to be informed of what's going on with your claim, because the VA is going to be like, well, hey, you fill out that 21-2022 giving that VSO, claims agent, or lawyer permission to represent you, it's not our fault that they screwed it up. It is your ultimate responsibility, okay? You got to know what you want to claim, and you have to know what they're submitting, all right? Number 4, fail to submit a response when the VA advised the veteran of adverse action. Now, when this happens, you have a certain time period to respond. When the VA sends you that rating decision and sends you that notification letter, they should be sending a copy to your representative. And that representative should be going down through that notification letter and rating decision with a fine-tooth comb. Is the effective date right? Is the percentage right? Okay? If not, then they need to be picking up the phone and calling you, or vice versa. When you get it, you need to be going through it with a fine-tooth comb. If it's not correct, you need to pick up the phone and call those individuals. All right? If you just sit back and be all willy-nilly and be like, oh, I'm good, I got my 0%, when you should have been 60 and don't do anything about it, it is your fault. Okay? Now, number 5, leave your claim on the desk and they quit. I've seen it. I've seen it when I was a rater, but more so, I've been hearing that from veterans. Okay, they'll say, oh, I was using this organization and I was working with this VSO and they were really good and I didn't hear anything for 2 or 3 months. And you finally got somebody on the phone and they said that person no longer works there. And then you're like, okay, well, they were supposed to file a claim. Can you check on it? They go in the system. We don't have a claim for you. Hold on. They go over to the desk. It's been sitting on the desk for the last 8 months. They never submitted the claim. Okay, these are things that I'm hearing from veterans, and some of the examples I've given you, I've seen while working for the VA. And guess what? Now you're telling the VA, hey, well, I did this, I did my part. It is your ultimate responsibility. It is not the VA's responsibility to keep up with your claim that your VSO, claims agent, or lawyer is supposed to be doing for you. That's not how it works. Okay? So I get it. They're not picking up the phone. They're not calling you back. All right? So what are some things that you can do? Invest the time. Because this is something that you can do yourself. I talk to a lot of veterans and they'll say, well, hey, I need this. Hey, this is what you're trying to do. Look, you can do this yourself. You have to invest the time, have patience, and get educated. And when you do that and apply all of these M21-1s that I'm talking about in my videos, all these 38 CFRs I'm talking about in my videos, the information in my book, all of this stuff, you can apply it to what you're doing and win. All right? Because if that VSO, claims agent, or lawyer don't submit something on time or don't submit anything at all, and they submit it later and the effective date is screwed up because of that, the VA is not going to correct it. That is on you and the VSO or lawyer, but mainly on you. So don't sit back and do nothing. But again, if you decide to go with a VSO, claims agent, or lawyer, make sure you're picking up the phone and calling them. Now, if you call them 2 or 3 times a day, 7 days a week, then yeah, they probably won't be picking up the phone, okay? They have other clients that they're working with, other vets that they're trying to get things done, all right? But let's just say if you're calling a couple of times a month and nobody's picking up or returning a phone call, that's a red flag. And not only with VSOs, claims agents, and lawyers, if you have a consulting company where you've paid money to or something like that, a sign a service agreement, and they're not picking up the phone, that's still a problem. But again, the regulations are on your side. Stay vigilant, stay educated, and never give up. With that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and as always, share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.